Oh, coasters, beautiful day here today. Gosh, look at that sun, just fantastic. Now, there's been recent media on the move to remove Allan Birchfield as chairman of the West Coast Regional Council. Here at Coasters Club, we've had over 300 comments. 99% of them, they don't support the move. But there's a variety of reasons. So, having a couple of days off, I've made a few notes. Thought I'd run through through them with you. I've tried to set them out so they're easy to follow. Now, the first one is, it's acknowledged that the process being followed is the correct process to replace a chairman under standing orders. So that's acknowledged. So what they're doing is legally correct, they're following the correct process. Of course, it's quite different from a mayor, where the mayor is elected by the people, the chairman of the regional council is elected by his councillors. Very, very hard to get rid of a mayor. Very, very hard. In fact, I can't recall it ever happening. Right, now most of the comments suggest the move is unwise. That's really putting it as kindly as you can. And let's look at what some of them say, and many of them are valid reasons not to change. One statement is, why have the dissenting councillors not used standing orders to ensure accountability if in fact that's what their issue is? They have standing orders, they've got all the power in the world. Let's look at some of the reasons that they've given. One such issue is, they say, is with the chief executive. Now, none of us know the details, and it's an employment matter in any event. It has nothing to do with councillors, and it's covered by the Employment Contracts Act. So, does West Coast Regional Council have a CE committee? Good question, isn't it? The answer probably is no. If it hasn't, a majority of councillors can simply form one. They can requisition an agenda item and form a CE committee to be fully involved in any relationship between the councillors and the chief executive. And in all respects, councillors would be fully informed. Now, councillors don't look like they've requested a CE committee. The chairman has not formed one. The conclusion to me must be that it's not wanted. Otherwise it'd be there. That leaves the responsibility of the relationship between councillors and chief executive with the chairman. Pretty straightforward. The second matter raised was that the chairman was crossing the line between governance and management over matters that seem to be focused around the demolition of King's Hotel, the demolition of the hospital site, and previously the demolition of the Revington site. And in particular, revolved around the consenting of dump sites. Now, Greymouth's commercial CBD has been inundated by water in 2008, and a large number of buildings have been declared earthquake prone. Most of them are on Marferin Corporation land, and most of them are going to end up being demolished, and the material has to go to a dump site. Very, very important. So for the future of the town, a good dumping facility is a no-brainer. Has to happen. Now, if you're on a council and actions are taken by staff and the public or a number of public raise with you as mayor or chairperson a problem, it's your responsibility or his responsibility to raise the matter with the chief executive and seek an explanation. That's how it works. And keep in mind, it happens every week around the country. If the explanation is not in the best interests of the town, or it exposes the council to legal risks, and if you take King's Hotel, creating a hazard and a health and safety issue, then that's where the mayor or the chairperson have a responsibility to forcefully advocate for a common sense solution. And that seems to have been the case with the King's Hotel demolition, which is now completed. Would it have been completed if Allan Birchfield hadn't stepped in? I kind of doubt it. It's a pity he wasn't round when Revington's was stalled for 3 years. It sat there half demolished for 3 years. I'll tell you what, that didn't happen with King's. I put that down to Allan Birchfield. Now, when management fails to deliver, then it's up to governance. Because the ultimate responsibility in every council is with governance. It's the councillors and the mayor or the chair that is dumped by the ratepayer for not getting it right. And they have a legal responsibility to act in the interests of ratepayers. Once again, these issues arise around the country and are almost always worked out between the mayor or the chair and the chief executive, in behind the scenes. And of course, there's some real dust-ups. Been in a few myself. Actually quite enjoy them. Now, one comment was noted that around the country, a number of councils have been getting embroiled in politics. We get a group of councillors, they gather around one councillor with an agenda, and they seek the removal of the mayor or the chair. Most often, it's a failed mayoral candidate. Have a look around New Zealand at the present time and have a look at what I mean. There are 6 councils I can point you to at this time that all have the same issue. The end result is that they create real turmoil. But after the elections are over, or the next elections are over, they either don't sit or they're not re-elected. They go down the drain. So what they do is create a whole lot of issues and then do the bolt. Or you as ratepayers, you get rid of them. It's a common theme. One comment notes that we are 12 months from when nominations for the October 2020 elections are put in. Why would the councillors not have taken a less damaging approach to their concerns? That's a reasonable question. Why would you bring the regional council into disrepute for political purposes? Doesn't make sense. Let's say at the meeting on the 31st, the dissenting councillors change the chairman. What will they really achieve? Here's what I predict. Allan Birchfield will sit again in the 2022 elections. He'll probably be the highest polling candidate again because he's well respected. And people like his black and white approach. And no doubt, after the October elections, there will be new councillors around the table. And they'll form the 2002 West Coast Regional Council with its councillors. This current move creates a real reputational damage that will take 2 or 3 years to repair. Now, I can tell you, I've had first-hand experience of this. I can tell you it takes time to repair the damage. And if you could go back in time, you would avoid it like the plague. Will change occur? Of course it'll occur. The first thing that happens is that the chairman of the regional council is an automatic member of the Taipatini One Plan Committee. And that's the committee that has the opportunity to put into place plans that are the West Coast way of doing things, with a West Coast influence. I mean, the move will remove a very pro-development chairman, and it'll replace him with a former Forest and Bird card-carrying member. Really? Forest and Bird, they don't get elected. They object to everything that is done on the coast, and they've been a real pain. They don't do anything for employment. They think about trees, but they're not thinking about jobs or communities. Another thing it'll do is it'll certainly damage the relationship and the work that's been done over the last 5 years, but more significantly in the last couple, where the current mayors and chair, along with iwi, have developed a really strong working relationship, and some say it's the best in the last 40 years. I know I'm part of it, I enjoy it, it works. Will it work in the future? Remains to be seen. Will a change at this time strengthen the ties with iwi? I doubt it, and that'll be a real tragedy, because we've been going so well. After a successful move to remove the current chairman, will the relationship between the four councils be improved? Or will it go back to where it was, say 5 years ago, where everyone does their own thing, no one works together, and the trust is not there? The challenges being faced by regional council, they're very real, and the costs coming down from central government will increase costs directly to ratepayers. It's a time where strong leadership, consistent leadership, advocating for the West Coast is absolutely critical. The leadership needs to promote the farming sector, to promote the tourism sector, to promote the minerals extraction sector, to promote the fishing sector. And most of all, the leader needs to advocate to build communities. And keep in mind, all of this is in an area where 83% of the land is controlled by DOC, and they don't pay any rates. Take Westland. Westland's 87% DOC owned. So 13% of the people, 13% of the ratepayers, cover all the cost of 100% of the land. And that's why it doesn't work. And it'll never work while those statistics remain as they are. You can't have 13% of the land being rated covering the costs of 100%. Simply doesn't work. And you need someone like Allan Birchfield to advocate for it, pushing to ensure that the one district plan is a plan for all coasters and not one for the ideology of Forest and Bird. It's really important. Now, the meeting's being held on the... Hey, I'm not sure what the outcome will be. They'll probably go ahead, and they'll probably roll Allan. He'll sit back quietly. Will we be better off coast-wide? I doubt it. We'll catch you later.